There we go. All right, audio working. Oh yeah. Oh freaking yeah. So plan for this morning is going to be to obliterate back, lats, traps, and everything in the freaking tween. Pullover machine will be done. This plate loaded one, I don't know, something about it was just freaking sweet. And other than that, I'll just try to change it up from last time. Last time was some seated cable rows. So actually, I basically did everything last time. It was my first time hitting back in this gym, so I'm like, all right, shit, give me a little bit of everything. Give me 2 sets of this row. Give me 2 sets of this pull down. Give me 3 sets of this pullover. You know, to all the way until the lift was complete. I was fully pumped, and I could jump on the cardio bike and get that shit done. So we'll see. I guess the opposite of that lift would be to come in and only do 2 movements, 1 for lats and 1 for mid traps. I don't know if I'm really feeling that specifically, but I wouldn't be opposed either, right? Do not I think this is something which most people would probably disagree with, but I think is actually kind of correct, is the idea that it's fine to have a workout every so often that is just very simple, and you're not doing 10 different things for one single muscle group, right? Like you're coming in to do lats, and let's say you're just doing a regular ass back day, so you want some rows and you want some lat work. Well, if you gave me, let's say you spit me out in like a hotel gym, and the only things that this place had was a pull down machine and a seated cable row with just a neutral grip, shoulder width attachment, and that was all I had, you're not going to catch me complaining. I'm going to say, all right, boom, hell yeah. I can even kind of change it up a little bit and do like some supersets, or maybe I'll do like a set of pull downs and then an immediate set of rows pre-exhausted. Something like that would actually work fine. Now, I wouldn't say only pick 1 lat movement and 1 mid-back row movement for the rest of your life, but on occasion, if every workout you do, you're always trying to change it up and do a bunch of different stuff, then would it not make sense that on occasion you should also have a lift that is just very basic and simple? That's making it different. If every lift is different in this style of just doing 3 different movements, well, now every lift is the same. You have the same substructure of the workout. You just change it up every so often like that. So I think it's worth having a, let's call it a structure change. And how I think about that, I still get this comment every now and again. I feel like if you've been watching for a while, you kind of get my logic when I talk about some of these movements. I'm like, okay, my shoulders feel really good. My chest feels really good. I'm starting with heavy bench or a heavy dumbbell bench or something. All right, that pretty much checked off my heavy pressing. Let's move on to a fly, or let's move on to a light squeezing press. So sometimes a lot of my logic can just be boiled down to, all right, what feels good? All right, let me do what feels good for a few. Okay, that felt really good. I got what I wanted out of those 3 sets of pull downs. Let's do something different that I think is going to feel good. Haven't done single arm pull downs for a while. Haven't done, double arm pullovers for a little while. And things along those lines, where you just change it up for the sake of what you think is gonna, benefit you just in that moment. And I try to use, all my cumulative experience in the gym to guide me. So if I start with 3 sets of pull downs and I'm like, all right, feeling strong, I'm feeling like I'm really exerting a lot of force with my lats. Those 3 sets felt really good. They were just clicking today. All right, let's do a heavy row. Or maybe my headspace would be something like this. Okay, I did 2 sets of those pull downs. The second set felt way heavier than the first one. Ooh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't try to lean into the heft so much today. Maybe I should back off a little bit, move on to like a squeezing, holding movement next. Something like that. Which may seem like a completely random decision to say, okay, let's do 3 pull downs and then 2 squeezing rows. But there is that experience behind it, So obviously if you've only been working out for a couple of months, well, then you don't have all that experience to rely on and essentially just tell you what you should do next. So that's a situation where I think, as a beginner, it's good to have all your shit written out. I mean, I've written out workout plans where, I mean, they were kind of silly, but this was my logic at the time. It was hit every muscle group twice a week, and every workout should be 5 sets, or 5 movements, 5 sets each. So every chest day was 25 sets. 5 of bench, 5 of incline, 5 of pec deck, 5 of cable press, 5 of whatever. So I was doing 25 sets for every muscle group. And I would write it out. It's like, okay, rope extension, push downs, dips, overhead single arm dumbbell, and kickbacks. A bunch of stuff like that. So if you're a beginner, then yeah, write your shit out, make sure you hit your numbers, and as long as you're pushing yourself, progressive overload will kind of take care of itself. And so what I mean by that is if you have 2 people and one of them comes in and he just kind of, that feels good, it's kind of heavy, put it down. He's probably not going to move up in weight week to week to week. He's not pushing himself like that. But if person B has this understanding of like, okay, I want to come into the gym and I really want to push myself. All right, I'm warming up. Ooh, curls. Looks like 50 is my number. Any more than 50 pounds and I wouldn't be able to get a good set of 10. All right. Takes that 50-pound dumbbell set as hard as he can. Gets 12. And the last one was a fucking grinder. Well, then by the time he comes back for the next week, or let's just say the next month for sure, well, his ability to do the 50s has now increased. So if he comes in with the same logic of, okay, I want to, 55s are my number today. I can feel that 55s is something I can handle for a good set of 10. And he hits a 55 set for 12. The same weight as the last month, or the same reps as the last month, but 5 pounds heavier, because he's pushing himself. He wants to bring it. So I think, I'll say this. If you're tracking all your stuff in a notebook, I mean, obviously good, that's a method that gets you into your training. But if you really want to get some information out of that, well then I wouldn't track all your sets and all your workouts in a notebook. I would write out like a Google Doc and, highlight, like basically bullet point, like, okay, this day, what all the workouts and all the sets that I did, how I felt about it, what I ate that day, how much water was I drinking, and then plug that into like, I guess everybody likes Claude now, but plug that into like an actual ChatGPT analysis, and that would actually spit out some good data and analytics. My biggest gripe with anybody tracking in a logbook is I feel like it's obviously a good way to get that data down, but are you really going through an entire, let's just say 100 days, so 100 pages worth of workout logs, and like, doing the necessary calculations and plotting graphs to see how you, like, no man, that's the type of shit that the computer is for, that the computer is supposed to actually be able to, manage all the busy work that would take forever for us to kind of do by hand. So if you've been tracking, I guess you could track it in a notebook, then just take a photo of it and upload that into the chat, and then it would do the same thing because it would be able to analyze your handwriting. That is something that I could get behind, and honestly, I think I might even start doing for myself, just so I can get a better, just get some more information. Because more information, the better. That's why I'm always hyping up that you should count all your calories no matter what, even if it's a cheat day, because then at least you know what happened. And if I go to the movie theater and I'll have 4 packs of Sweethearts ropes. Yep. Yeah, I'm not joking. Just give me the 4 of them. Well, that's 80 grams of carbs each. I'm going to track all that and plug it into my thing. Holy crap. 5,000 calorie day. Ooh, that's a big one. But at least I know. At least I know what happened. I'm not just, writing it off as though it were nothing. And then, it can, you know my stance on the calorie tracking. So, I think nothing else to say, but let's just get in there and start ripping back. I did not do this back machine last back day, and that makes it a perfect candidate as the start for today. So I think I'm going to do a back and forth style. set of pull downs, which this is a little bit of lower back or mid back, but mainly lats. So I count this as a pull down, lat focused. So 2 of these, 2 of a row, 2 of another pull down, 2 of a row, 2 of maybe a pull over, something like that. And I think that style is gonna, well, we'll see what happens. Let me pick a better song and it gets freaking real. Yeah. Let's hit a row. Maybe some pause reps at the end. We'll see. Oh, one more. Just like that will be good. Okay. Time for something. Time for something. Oh, a little lighter. 2 plates on one side and 3 in the other. A little too much. Let's try this one like this. Okay. Oh, back to a row. All right. That is way too fucking heavy. Let's do 200 instead of 300. Okay. Okay. Let's do something. Dear. Let's pose down. Alright, let's make sure we're properly in focus. I have been doing a little bit of chatting, so I may not be fully pumped. But honestly, I don't really mind as bad. Because with back, I'd say sometimes fully pumped almost takes away from the coolness factor. Because if your back is fully pumped, you almost get this like swollen effect, and it just, I don't know. You gotta know to know. But let's see how we're looking. I'm gonna actually have to take a few steps forward. Yeah, let's creep up to right about here. Okay. Apologies, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do for this shot. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, goodness. And that's what I call a back day. God dang it. So, let's roll. I gotta do my cardio. There we go. So today was just 30 minutes. 30 minutes only on the bike. At a difficulty that left me around what the machine said was 360 calories in those 30 minutes. I wouldn't trust that specifically. And what I mean by that is some machines feel harder than others. Like 200 calorie or 300 calories in 30 minutes on the cardio bike in my gym and the cardio bike in my basement. Those are like 300 calories in 30 minutes is fucking hard. Whereas some of the like Matrix, the machines in like a Planet Fitness or something, it says 300 calories in 30 minutes, and I feel like if I do the same difficulty on the bike that I've got as that one's gonna read I did like 450 calories, you know? So I'm not actually aiming for that calorie number. The most objective way to determine your cardio's intensity is gonna be tracking your heart rate. But I'm not even always doing that. Like I didn't check my heart rate once today. I don't have like a little heart rate reader on, and the machine didn't have a heart rate sensor. But I knew what difficulty I should put it at and how hard I should be pedaling based on feel, because I can feel if I'm giving it enough juice that it's actually doing something. My heart rate is being elevated, I'm sweating, but I'm not burning out my legs. And I want to be right in that sweet spot. If the difficulty is too high, you're not going to be able to maintain it. And if it's too low, well, then you're not doing anything, you know, of substance. You're just moving your legs around while you play on your phone. So in my head, I think the playing on your phone part makes it easier to go harder because you're distracting yourself from how hard the cardio is. And it's not like squat 10 reps to failure hard, but it is kind of hard. You are putting effort in. You're breathing a little bit heavier than normal. So it's it's just something to get used to. It's like the best skill to work on with your cardio is just getting used to doing it. And the more you do it, the easier it will become, right? So, I mean, is that not the same as anything? The more you do something, the better you get at it. So that's my take. And just give yourself a little mental contract. Say you're gonna do it, and do it. Every time you do that, you're just reinforcing whatever neural freaking crap is going on in your head, where you're basically just proving to yourself, consciously and subconsciously, I do what I say I'm going to do. If I say I'm going to do my 30 minutes of cardio and I do it, boom, that's a green light. That's like getting a little mental reward that says, I did it. Yippee. I put a sticker on my chest or a star on my board. Something like that. And the more often that you do that, well, sure, maybe that feeling of self-reward isn't as intense, but the difficulty of getting it also gets easier at the same time. So that's where this is something I've said a couple times before, and I think is worth getting into again, is the guys who go to the gym the most for the longest actually have it the easiest. And what I mean by that is the dude at your gym who is the dude who has been there for years. He's been working out huge since you started working out. He was already big when you started, and he's just been there cranking it out on the regular. Well, guess what? The reason why he does that and why he can keep doing it so well, I assume, is because he's gotten good at it. The ultimate state of locked in is to not feel like you have to lock in. Right? Because to go to the gym every day, doing your cardio, counting your calories, being on track, and like holding yourself accountable to what your goals are, if that's your baseline, if that's just how you operate on the regular, and that's just a normal day for you, well, guess what? What are the odds you're going to be able to do that again tomorrow? and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. Come on, man. We merge. But once you've lifted for 3 months, is it not easier than that first week? Once you've lifted for 3 years, is it not easier than those first 3 months? Once you've lifted for 10 years, is it not easier than that first one? Right? I'm not there yet. I'm only holy crap, I'm not getting on 71, that's for sure. This is nuts. But yeah, right. I'm only 8 years deep. I'm not 10 yet, but I'm getting close. And I feel that I've got it easier now than I did before, because I have built up these habits and these patterns and this just routine to the point that it is now just how I roll, man. For me to swim 100 meters, or for me to swim a mile, I don't know if I could swim a mile. Right? Give me a life jacket. Maybe I got a mile in me in like a survival situation. But even then, I don't know. I'm not buoyant. Like, I do not float. Because muscle's denser than water. Let's not even think about that. But you tell me to swim a mile, I got no chance. Right? You tell a tuna to swim a mile, he's going to say, why not 30? Why not 50 miles? Because that's just how he rolls. That's his element. That's something he is totally used to doing and will continue to do, and it's just not a challenge for him. So it's like a twofold kind of motivation. Right? I want to be, able to push myself really hard and deal with it when things are difficult, and overcome challenges and stick to my routine. But I also want to get good enough at doing that it actually becomes a bit more effortless and easy to do. This is a quote that I really like, that you should practice without striving. Right? So make it such that giving 100% effort does not require effort. It is just something you're capable of turning on, whenever the time demands it, right? Like, obviously, when I'm doing a set, I'm getting myself amped, I'm getting myself in a really good headspace, and I'm saying, okay, let's bring it. But if I could be the dude who can just always bring it, no matter what, and I don't give up on my sets because they got hard. The only reason I rack the weight is because it's just not going to move again. That's what I want to be able to do. And I want to be able to do that as naturally as, tying my shoes or breathing. Like, I want that to just come second nature, to push myself that hard. And I'm really going to get a glimpse of that once I start eating some more food. Because right now, dieted, I'm definitely feeling the effects of a calorie deficit, or at least a minor calorie deficit that I'm in right now. And I'm getting real excited to start putting some more carbs into my system. I'm going to start slow and ease my way up. Like, I'm going to just gradually increase my baseline calories so that I can gradually, expose myself to it and not just mess with my metabolism or anything, or start putting on fat too fast. But once I start grubbing, now there will be nothing in between me and 100% effort every set, because that's at least what I think I want to do going forward, to actually put size on while I start eating again and really putting food down, rather than just, scrapping like I have been. But yeah, that's what I want. I want to be able to just turn on that switch, bring it, and that's just how I roll. Like, I want that to just be solid. Now, that isn't to say that I don't want to keep bringing it and putting effort in, but I'm saying the more effort that you put in and the more consistent that you are with your efforts, well, it just gets easier and easier to God damn, these fucking people are crazy. Well, it gets easier to do it. So the more it's almost a skill in and of itself, just pushing yourself. And the better you get at it, the easier it is to do. The more often you're going to do it, the better results you're going to get from doing it. An upward spiral. There's not a lot of upward spirals that get highlighted. A lot of downward spirals get highlighted. Man, I haven't been in the gym for 3 months. I started drinking again. I'm behind on 4 other things. Right? story as old as time. Very much more rare is the upward spiral of finally got back in the gym. Dude, my hydration has been on point. I've been going to bed every night at 10. I've been doing a 30-minute run every morning. Right? That is fucking cool, and that will pay off in the long run. So try to be more like that guy. Let's put it like that. But nothing else to say. I got a big old detour because the highway is shut down for whatever reason. And then I will see you tomorrow for some arms. Arms is going to be crazy. I don't know where it's going to be or how it's going to go, but I know at the end of it, I'm going to say, whoa, or, something along those lines. So I'll see you for that.